Cool. Okay, very good. Hey, folks, welcome to the Produce Pair. I'm Dan the Produce Man, along with my good produce pal.
Guido the gardener.
Yes, and today we have a special guest for you because we're going to make you feel good all over. Not just from the fresh fruit and vegetables that we share with you, but we have some other items that are going to go hand in hand with a healthy diet that's going to make you feel good too. Rose Chastain is with us. She is with Your Natural Healthcare, yournaturalhealthcare.com. And Rose is also a business coach, a life coach. And what other kind of coach are you? Well, first of all, welcome to the Produce Pair, Rose.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and so you're coaching. You do a lot of coaching around the world.
Yes.
So can we get into a little bit about that
Absolutely.
first?
Absolutely. Well, my partner, William, and I own a consultancy firm. And what we do is work with people to move them, transition them to the next level, whatever that is. Sometimes people are working on their family relations and their foundation. Sometimes they need a business strategy. Sometimes they're trying to sell their business. We are experts in marketing and branding and also sales and cash flow strategy. So we bring it all to the party and are able to work with people wherever they're at. Between William and I, we have over 50 years of personal development experience in leading workshops and training. So we just love what we do. We love getting to work with people and see them bloom and see them achieve what their goals are in life.
You're hired. You're hired. I'm sold. After that, the Produce Pair, take it to the next level, Rose. We're yours.
Thank you.
And that makes perfect sense that that goes hand in hand with the next topic, which is the CBD items. CBD, Your Natural Healthcare CBD. Now, some of this is topical, or is it all topical CBD?
No, we have topical and internal, but I wanted to say you're right, Dan. It really does go hand in hand with our consultancy. There it goes, it's back again. It does go hand in hand because William and I started Your Natural Healthcare with the intention of giving people an alternative to the pain medications that are out there. This country's having an opioid crisis, and people are not very educated about their health and how to take care of themselves and even how their body works. So we work in partnership with a lot of chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, etc., to be able to take all of the natural tools that are available, including your vegetables and fruits and how you eat them, how you prepare them, where they come from. All of that together gives you a healthy, thriving body. So, we are great consultants, but if people aren't healthy physically, then it doesn't matter how brilliant our consulting is, they're still going to be dealing with some sort of suffering. So, you're right, Dan, when you say that goes hand in hand. It is mind, body, and soul. That's what we're treating.
Yes.
Yeah, now, just from the very, very beginning, people hear CBD, CBD, CBD. What is it?
What a great question. One of the things that's like a pet peeve. I'm going to answer your question specifically, but people, their exposure to CBD so often is from one of three things. It's advertisements or word of mouth. That's one thing. They see it in a store like CVS or a drug, like a pharmacy type of thing, or they see it at a head shop, a marijuana shop. And all three of those experiences or exposures are really not accurate. They're just a piece of how you can access CBD, and it doesn't educate you at all. So to answer your question, Guido, it's the CBD is a cannabinoid, and it's one of 118 that are in the cannabis family. So the species, you guys will have to correct me because you know more about the plants and the terminology for the plants, but the species is cannabis. And there are two main, what do you call them? Specialties?
Yeah, categories, species.
Categories, yeah. So, and one is marijuana and one is hemp. And marijuana and hemp, you could call them cousins. But the main difference is marijuana has THC.
That's
THC
the
is
drunk cousin.
the drunk cousin, exactly.
I'm related to a few of those.
You are excellent. So THC, which in itself can be a very useful medicine and tool used properly, it has a bad reputation. You know, it's a drunk cousin with a bad reputation, right? There are many, many powerful tools, just plant medicine and you know, fruit and vegetable medicine. All of that can cure so many things. So THC, for example, is the chemical makeup and compound of that cannabinoid is an exact match for your CB1 receptors. So we have CB2 and CB1 receptors throughout our whole bodies. They're like clusters, mostly located around where your lymph nodes exist. So your armpits, groin area, neck, throat, like that. You have these
Gosh, I guess it would be good for bubonic plague then, huh?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have these clusters of receptors, and the CB1 receptors, they are an exact match and key for THC. And THC impacts your neuronal pathways in your brain. It's a brain mental. It has that's why you get high. It impacts more of the mind.
And eat a whole pack of Oreos.
Yeah.
You eat a whole pack of Oreos, exactly.
And Jack in the Box tacos.
Exactly. Those commercials are specifically designed for stoned people, you know. But THC used as a medicine can be extremely powerful to alleviate PTSD, to alleviate depression. What we recommend for people on that side of things is to do microdosing and to talk to some of the companies like Harborside. Harborside is an extraordinary company, and the staff that they have there are very knowledgeable about THC. So our products, none of them have THC in them. They're all from hemp. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is in 2018, when the Farm Bill passed, one of the things that changed was that industrial hemp became 100% legal. And hemp is identical to marijuana, except for what it looks like. It looks slightly different. You can tell the plants if you're educated in that. One's brown and bushy, and one's tall and greener. But the only other difference between the two is that there's no THC. So the CBD, the cannabinoid, is exactly the same in the hemp as it is in the marijuana. It's also in cactus and in hops and in the human body. So some people's bodies actually produce endocannabinoids. And CBD is one of the endocannabinoids. You guys have to tell me if you want me to stop talking about it, because I love this topic.
Yeah, no. The reason I'm not, excuse me, the reason I'm not interrupting with something goofy or dumb is that I really didn't know any of this. And if I didn't know it, maybe one or two people that are listening didn't know it too. Although, you know what? I do have one question.
Yeah.
Is now when you inhale smoke, and I don't care whether it's from a cigarette, it's just regular Johnny Lunch Bucket tobacco or marijuana tobacco. The smoke in your lungs is just not really good.
Correct.
But the kind of my angle is people were saying, "Oh, I'm smoking dope because it's healthy." And that's not necessarily accurate, is it?
No, well, smoke, like you said, smoke is smoke, whether it's from forest fires, from your joint, or from a cigarette.
Yeah.
Sounds like people are looking for permission in a way, and out of sight, out of mind. Okay, I read an article that said marijuana smoke is healthy, so now I'm going to smoke it without looking at other articles that say maybe it's toxic as well, because there's a lot of debate out there.
Now, what I'm understanding is the compounds in, say, the marijuana leaf can be beneficial, but smoking it into your lungs just ain't.
Yes. The other thing about that is that you will have different experiences depending on how you imbibe the cannabinoid. So when you smoke, because you can smoke hemp, you can smoke a hemp joint, a CBD joint, they sell those even. You can eat it.
And that doesn't get you high because
It
it's
does
made
not.
of hemp.
The hemp
no
does.
THC.
No, okay.
Hemp does not get
Okay.
you high. In order for it to be considered hemp, it has to have less than 0.003% THC. So they test the plants after you harvest to see, did you get lucky or did it get pollinated by marijuana down the street?
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay.
No.
Right. Sure.
Like corn. Corn will go back and forth,
Right.
field to
Both
field. Yeah,
crops will,
yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar. And the many of the growers that we work with have had crops ruined because it turned into marijuana. It got
Well,
pollinated.
there's always a secondary market for that too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There is, absolutely. So the difference between smoking and taking it internally, eating it is dramatic. And one of the things, to answer your earlier question, Dan, about topical or ingested or what we do, we have primarily topical, and we work in two categories. One is beauty, skincare. The beauty industry, I don't know how much you guys know about your wife and your girlfriend's makeup, but that stuff is toxic. There is a lot of toxic stuff in skincare.
Yeah.
So we have a skincare, an eye cream, and a sun damage cream. And those are the three creams that we carry for beauty. And they are spectacular. You do have CB2, which, by the way, I didn't finish that. CB2 receptors are a perfect lock and key match for CBD. CBD is a different shaped compound than THC. So your whole entire endocannabinoid system gets activated when you have CBD and THC. You're using both receptors. And a lot of people believe that that's why you should only use full spectrum CBD, full spectrum products, because you're then having THC and CBD. You're using your whole endocannabinoid system. We don't believe that. We believe that there's alternatives, and specifically because we want police, firemen, people who cannot have THC in their system, we want them to be able to have the option of healing.
Absolutely.
So you aren't impacting your neural pathways, and you're not changing, you're not opening your mind, as they say. You smoke a joint and it opens your mind. You're not doing that part, but you are healing, and you're getting yourself out of pain. So we have, back to the products. So we have skincare, because we started to look at cosmeceutical line and how much people spend on these chemical derivatives and what they're doing to your skin. So let's say you're dealing with a digestive issue already in your life, and then you go and you put on, I don't know, will I get in trouble of naming brands? Something like oil of Olay, or any one of those, $500 night creams that you can buy. La Mer is my favorite. And most of the stuff you're putting in your skin, you can't pronounce, and you don't know what it is. And it ends up actually toxifying your entire body and putting a strain on your liver and your other digestive organs.
Well, yeah, your skin is one big organ, so it's just going to go everywhere.
Exactly. So we have the skincare. We also have an eye serum, because some people prefer oils to creams. So we have an eye serum.
So eye serum, tell me, that's a beauty product. That's not something that'll make you see better. Is that correct?
Right. It is a beauty product.
Just want to clarify that, folks.
Bags under your eyes or something, eye serum.
Absolutely. So our eye serum has a rice bran base, which is a very light.
Oh, very good. Yes.
All of our products are designed so that you could eat it. I mean, it wouldn't taste good. It would taste like oil, but you can eat them. There's nothing in there that's toxic. We don't use any preservatives.
Good for your digestive system. Then it's got to make your insides feel good. I mean, it has to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you do end up eating it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to eat your eye serum, you can go ahead and eat right. So yes, the eye serum, because of the light base of it, and it has the hyaluronic acid, it has CBD, it has I never say this right.
Resveratrol.
Thank you. So it does tighten and lighten the dark circles under your eyes. A lot of women can complain about their, what do they call this, neck and chest area?
Turkey neck.
The turkey neck, yeah. And so it works wonders in that arena too.
So they're only popular around Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Now, who does all of this, like testing and formulating for you?
We have
hold that question real quick. We're going to take a short break. And we'll come right back with Rose Chastain from Your Natural Health Care here on the Produce Pair. Don't go away.
And it's a really short break.
It is because,
just,
because I'll edit it in, all the bumper music and everything else.
Cool.
So we're going to come right back. All right, folks, welcome back to the Produce Pair. I'm Dan the Produce Man, along with my good produce pal,
Guido the Gardener.
And Rose Chastain from Your Natural Healthcare, yournaturalhealthcare.com, is here with us. And boy, she is really educating us today, or as Guido would say, edumacating us. I think he got that from a cartoon character, though. But
the Three Stooges.
Oh,
wasn't that Curly?
Popeye. Wasn't it Popeye?
Edumacating?
Yeah, I don't. Either way, nice source for my knowledge, huh? Ooh.
Yeah, that's quite all right. But before we took a break, you had a question for Rose, and it was a good one. So carry on, please, Dr. Guido. Actually, he's not a doctor.
Yeah. Although a few times I tried to pass myself off as one. What was my question? Hey, do you have anything for memory loss?
Yeah, exactly.
Remind me what we had. It was skin.
Well, I think I was telling you guys about the different products and why the different ways of taking.
Oh, I know what it was. Sorry to interrupt. Right? Is who does all this testing and formulating and whatnot for? It's got to be very intricate stuff.
I have a genius chemist who I will not tell you about because he's my secret.
Okay.
But he has been tinkering for over 40 years, as he calls it, tinkering. And with him and his wife who works with us, and together they are just brilliant with the powers of herbs and the things that I learn about, from I will say something to him like, I want a product that does this. And he'll go, okay, well, if I extract it in this manner and I bring it to this temperature and I do a nanomolecule and I, half of what he talks about, goes over my head. But his products and the testing and the test results are spectacular. We have all of our products tested by a third party so that we can get the chemical compound, especially making sure that there's no THC in any of our products.
You figure though that, before, quote unquote, modern medicine and regular medications and all of that, it all started back with plants and roots and things and stuff anyway. So what I'm figuring is that the actual process goes back for a very, very long time. What's changed, I guess, is just the technology to do all of this stuff. Absolutely.
I am lucky enough to have been raised by hippie parents, and my first name's actually Harvest. Don't tell anybody. I announce it to everybody. So my first name is Harvest, and I was raised with going out to the field that we lived on and picking mint for tea at night. And I know how to make a sleep compound, and I go on walks with my partner, and he's like, don't eat that thing on the side of the road. I'm like, no, this is a carrot, and this is minor lettuce, and this is licorice. And the city boy goes, wait a minute, dogs could have peed on that. And so
oh boy, we used to get that when we were little kids eating the sour grass, remember?
Right?
Sour grass and chew on the sour grass, and there was always some kid in the neighborhood said dogs pee on
that. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm really blessed in that, and one of the things that I've gotten to experience that is that there are, especially in the matriarchal line, and traditionally, back to the caveman days, it was the women who were hunting and gathering, and so there are stories about everything from menstrual cramps to childbirth to recovering from a cold to fixing injuries and burns. That I have access to doing with herbs.
Hey Rose, that's fantastic. No, absolutely. One thing I want to ask you is there is so many ads on the radio. There are corner drugstores with all these CBD products, and all these folks are selling CBD really cheap. And look, I'm a firm believer in you get what you pay for. Period. I'm always a big believer in quality over quantity in anything. Um, so how do we know, which ones to buy? Obviously, you don't want to go to, and I'm not going to say the name of the store, but they're all over the place, that corner convenience store, and buy those packets off the counter. It's just,
Yeah.
it's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah, that is a very good question. And it is, I'd say one of the biggest, right along, like you were saying, Guido, people just not knowing what CBD is. The second challenge is, how do you figure out what is buying good CBD versus crap in the corner? So there's a couple of different things that you should look for. As I was mentioning earlier about the kind of CBD, so we use CBD isolate. And what that means is we've actually taken the cannabinoid and extracted it from the plant. We don't use biomass, which essentially means they take the plant, which is very pulpy and fibrous, and that takes a lot of weight, right? So you could say, oh, I have 5 grams of CBD here, but if it's mostly biomass, you're not going to get the impact of it. Isolate ends up looking like a powder. Truthfully, it looks like a pile of cocaine or something like that, like what is the Godfather or whatever movie that is? It looks like that.
Scarface.
Yeah, Scarface. So CBD isolate is what it says. It's an isolated cannabinoid. And so you're going to get that direct product and not a lot of fiber. So that's one thing. Is it isolate, this product? Does it use isolate? Or is it full spectrum, which is another word for we're using the whole plant? Okay. Full spectrum does potentially have THC. So even if it says no THC, but it says full spectrum CBD, you could have THC in it. So that right there is like, people don't know that. And of course, it's not in the company's interest to educate everybody about these things because, marketing is marketing.
Sales, yes.
Exactly. So that's the first thing. Is it isolate? Is it full spectrum? They both have their pros and cons. You just have to know which one's which. That's the first thing. The second thing is, what is the liquid or base compared to the active ingredient? So a lot of the products that I find, obviously I do the market research and make sure that I can blow all competitors out of the water. They are not very concentrated. So I didn't finish talking about it, but our joint and muscle line, which has 8 different products, and it's one of our top sellers, is a heating buttercream. And it's heating from capsaicin, from several different kinds of chili peppers.
Nice.
And then we have wintergreen and camphor that we also make ourselves. So that combination gives you an icy hot feeling when you put it on topically. And it's very concentrated with CBD. So like I said, we use CBD isolate, and the ratio is 10 milligrams per milliliter. So 10 milligrams of CBD per 1 milliliter of product. Buttercream is the base. It's a mix of different coconuts and coconut butter and shea butter and mango butter and cacao butter and a bunch of other things. My secret recipe. But
if you use it wisely, okay.
Yeah, use it wisely. You need very, very little when you use these products. So it lasts like a little jar, because we use a 15 milliliters jar. So it's, what is that, quarter of an ounce, right? I don't think I'm doing my math right, but it's a little jar, but a little jar will last you about a month and a half is the end result. And it's because of the concentration. So most of the products, when you go and buy them at a convenience store, everybody, Safeway has CBD now, I've seen. You go and you buy it, and it's a 4-ounce container, and it has 150 or maybe 300 milligrams of CBD in it. But 300 milligrams in a 4-ounce container, if you do the math of it, it's not very concentrated. And most
like
products,
watered down wine.
Exactly. And most products are between 3 and 5 milligrams per milliliter, and whereas ours is 10.
Is there a percentage that you would look for? Like, say yours would be, I don't know, like 1%, and the ones at the corner store would be 1/10 of 1% or something. Do the labels do the math for somebody just reading it?
No, you know, the labeling, that's the other thing about this industry, which is essentially it's under the category of cosmeceutical, which is completely unregulated. And so everybody's labels are different. You know, we try and be transparent in terms of how much CBD that we put in there, but there's one other issue here, which is we use nanotechnology in our products, and our other top seller is our nano lotion. And
Yes.
this, you've tried this. So this one is the one, if anyone is athletic at all, this one is spectacular. It's, you put it like on your knees before you go running, or, you know, one of the jokes, we're working with a golf course and they say, this takes 2 strokes off your game.
Oh, that's great. Hey, Rose, I use that
Yeah.
on legs day. You know,
Yeah.
when you lift weights, legs day, everyone who lifts weights knows that legs day is probably the one where say it's Tuesday. Every Tuesday you say, okay, it's legs day. Am I going to skip my workout today? Am I going to, which you don't do, and you feel better for not doing it. But I tell
Yeah.
you put that nano lotion on every part of your legs before you work out, and you won't get that, you know, those soreness that you get after.
Yeah.
That you just won't. It's
So
amazing.
Well, this way,
coming from a guy that doesn't exercise and doesn't know much about CBD, what's the nano stuff do? How's it work? And why does it do? Why is it so effective, obviously?
good question. So nanomolecules, essentially, we have a very loud, noisy machine that shakes the molecules and injects it with a fat liposome coating. So there's a couple different things. One is the molecules shrink and they become small enough to fit through your cell walls, and they end up coating with a fat liposome, which makes it more bioavailable. Our body is essentially liquid, you know, and how liquid and oil go. So most CBD is an oil. It's an oil, which means you don't absorb it sufficiently. So when you make it nanomolecules, it has a fat coating on it that absorbs and can go into the cells. So it can pass through the cell walls, which means you get a faster response time.
It
So
sneaks in there.
Yeah, it does. So let's say,
it
like you
is.
said, legs day, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That was too much weight. Or, you know, you're in the garden and you're, you know, pulling weeds bent over and you're like, okay, my back, I can feel my back, you know, like whatever that is. Within minutes, some people seconds, they feel relief. And one woman actually who has stenosis in her neck, and I'm working with her right now. She says when she puts on the nano lotion, she feels a tingly feeling, sort of like cascading tingling feeling. And she realizes that when she takes the nano lotion, the muscles in her neck relax, and it's blood flow that she's feeling. She feels the blood flow.
Yeah, she's coming back to life.
Exactly.
Sure.
So the other thing, when we were talking earlier about the effectiveness of CBD and how do you tell when you buy a good product? Well, there's also this part, which is, are you going to do full spectrum CBD? Are you going to do full size molecules, or are you going to do nanomolecules? And all three of those things are going to give you an entirely different experience in your body. The other thing, one other piece about this, and I know, again, I'm back on my soapbox, but the other thing is since this is a plant, there is no universal dosage. It is not a controlled chemical. People relate to it like a chemical, but it's not, it's a plant. So let's say you want the benefits and the vitamins that are in a squash, and you go and you make this great squash dinner. Well, let's say you cooked it too high, the temperature got too high. Well, you killed all of the microbes that are in there, right? It no longer has those vitamins. You've cooked them, you've fried them. Or let's say when it was grown, it had a lot of pesticides. Well, along with the benefits and the vitamin B and whatnot, you're also ingesting pesticides. So it very much, oh, and then the other thing, let's say you eat nothing but King's Hawaiian bread and chips for a week. And then you're like, now
Ooh.
I'm going to be healthy and I'm going to eat the squash. Well, your body is not going to absorb it the same way someone else might, So it is a plant, and it depends on, how much are you drinking? How much are you sleeping? Are you taking other medications that can block the absorption of the benefits? So,
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Folks, we're talking with Rose Chastain, Your Natural Health Care, yournaturalhealthcare.com, CBD from hemp, and all kinds of good stuff. We'll be back after this. Okay, when we come back, what do you want to cover, Rose? Can you tell the story about how you got started?
sure.
Where William, you had the problem
Yep.
with his hand and the whole bit. That would be
Yep.
great,
Absolutely.
because that's a very organic.
Yeah, once you guys get me started, I just
No,
Oh.
it's been good. I've been fascinated, actually. And-
Cool.
Yeah.
I would like to mention too, Dan, I want to mention I have a new products coming. I want to do a teaser.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
I'm just trying to cut this thing off. There's some very weird things going on. Let me just get it out of here. Okay.
You're a very weird thing going on.
Yes, I am. And that's a compliment to my lifestyle. Thank you. Okay. So you want to, okay. So it's new, let me write this down. New products.
How you started and what else you got coming down the
Yep.
pipe.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Oh, and
All right.
mention like the website again and how people can
Order.
get a order and
Maybe I should talk because you asked, but I didn't really answer about internal and external products. So maybe I should just walk through the products too.
sure.
Okay. Very good. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, folks, we're back with Rose Chastain on the Produce Pair. I'm Dan the Produce Man, along with
Guido the gardener.
So Rose is with Your Natural Health Care, CBD, just in case you're, well, actually, it's not radio, so you're not just tuning in. It's a podcast. You've been listening. I have to remember these things.
I know.
so
And
so
they
used to
may have
doing
just-
radio shows where people just, you got an AQH, which is average quarter hour, where you have, which is done in 15-minute segments. How many people listen during average quarter hour? And so people are driving around, they're doing this or doing that or whatever, and they're listening to the radio, and they don't always listen to an entire radio show. They just hear part of it. I have to get that out of my head in this world of podcasting. But anyway.
Well, maybe they're just tuning in mentally, Dan. Maybe.
Well, good.
Maybe they just arrived.
We can help with that.
Yeah.
So, folks, fruits and vegetables are very good for you. You know that. You hear that all the time, and we tell you that, and we love them. And I personally am a supplement person too. I believe in good, high quality supplements. I don't believe in standard drugstore supplements that have all those fillers, similar to the fake CBDs that are out there, or the whatever those drugstore CBDs are. Not drugstore, convenience stores. There we go.
There we go.
But anyway, enough of that. Rose, you have some new products coming out, but prior to that, tell us, how did you get started in this business in the first place? I know it took a lot of research on your part,
Yes.
2 years worth, right?
Yeah.
But it came about from something that happened with your partner, William.
Yeah. Well, we were very excited, as we started in the beginning talking about being consultants. And we were so excited when Prop 64 came or was going to pass. It was predictable that it passed. And that, for those who don't know, that was the proposition that made recreational marijuana or medical marijuana at the time, I believe, legal. And so we were so excited because that meant we could actually consult in the cannabis industry. And, as I said before, with the first name of Harvest, and I was born in Humboldt County, and, I've got creds, I've got street creds, even though I've been a Bay Area girl for most of my adult life. But we thought, okay, this is a great opportunity because all of those pot growers that were previously up in the hills and, running camps and everything you hear about growing pot and the dangers of it, and when in the black market, is all true. All that stuff does really happen. I know you watch those films, it really is like that. It's crazy up there. So we thought, okay, well, we can bring personal development, cash flow strategy. These people are now have legal businesses. They're going to need to know about what's an employee versus what's, an independent contractor. So we got very excited about consulting in that arena, and we started, going out to find clients and putting together packages and all that stuff. And we had a couple of people that we worked with who had grows, or they were doing edibles or something in the cannabis industry. And we were one day at a after party, because that's part of that industry, is you do go to after parties, and there's lots of smoking pot and lots of drinking and all this stuff, but people also have booths just like any other trade show after party. And so this one woman had a big bowl, like a metal mixing bowl full of some sort of cream, and we're like, what's that? She's handing out samples. And she goes, well, do you have any aches and pains? And my partner, William, at the time had trigger finger, which is where your finger gets locked.
Right.
You have,
Your joint gets funny, and it won't move, or it locks back, or
Yeah. And it's painful. Yes. Very painful. So, the only way he could open his finger was to pull it open, which hurt. And he was looking at having to get steroid shots in the joint, which is one of the opportunities. But essentially, once you start going down that road, you really never can stop going down that road.
Sure.
Yeah, so he was trying to avoid it. And, we were kind of joking around when this woman was handing out samples, and we're like, oh, sure, whatever, we'll try. He goes, I'll put some on my trigger finger. We didn't expect anything to happen from this, right? So we try it. He puts some on, I put some on my neck, and we went on to the next booth and talked to the next people, and we're networking, and, we walk up to somebody and they go, hi, I don't know, Bob, whoever it was, and reaches out to shake William's hand, and William's hand opened. His finger opened. And it was like, both of us were like, did you see what just happened? And that was about 30 minutes after he had put the cream on. And that was like mind-blowing that happened, that there was that kind of impact. And so we went back and bought 2 jars, and we gave one to his 99-year-old mother, who has gout and hip problems, and she uses it. Of course, we took the label off, and she does not know it's from him.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, the impact of it. So we took those jars and we started studying, and we started researching what was available, and we read a ton of scientific white papers, and looked at the research all over the world. So like in the Netherlands, they're way more advanced in terms of the research that they've done. It's fully legal in the Netherlands, and people use it. You have like a guide. When you go, I'm using marijuana for anxiety. Oh, this is the kind you need, and this is the kind like. These are professionals who are respected with respected careers to be experts in these things. So we just studied and looked, and I did go to the Netherlands. I came back with a lovely vodka infused marijuana cocktail.
Really?
Quite lovely. And but there's many things that they can do that aren't yet here in the States. And like Dan said, it was about 2 years of study. And in the meantime, what we did is William had L4, L5 in his back would always go out. And we started using, when we developed the nano lotion, we started using the nano lotion and the buttercream heating, that combination. And he hasn't had back pain, lower back pain like that in years now. And this is, you had asked earlier, Dan, about the kinds of different products. So we have mostly topical, but we also have internal drops. So we have a CBD spray, and we have 3 of them actually. One is 350 milligrams, one is 1,500 milligrams, and one's 1,000 milligrams. And these have a coconut oil base, You take them internally, you take them under your tongue, and you hold it for about 15 seconds. When you put a liquid on your subcutaneous vein, it actually goes straight, once it absorbs, it goes directly into your bloodstream. So within 15 to 20 seconds, you have the CBD in your bloodstream. One of the things that they have found, because I didn't quite touch on this, but CBD impacts your endocannabinoid system. Well, what the heck is an endocannabinoid system? And what that is, it's a system that works in partnership with your lymph nodes and your immune system. It's sort of the go-between that's job is to keep your body as close to homeostasis as possible. So it's always balancing your body. It's always, it's going where it's needed. So there's been benefits that people have experienced from taking CBD internally, like reduced anxiety, increased digestion. Williams was pre-diabetic and is not anymore. And part of that is regular usage of CBD.
Yeah, but he also started eating more salads too. So
that's
I think
true.
we can.
He does eat vegetables now. It's exciting. The other day, Dan, he asked for salad. It was awesome.
I gotta love it.
Exactly. So it's also reduced inflammation. One of the top things that causes disease is inflammation. And CBD does reduce inflammation. One of the only products that the FDA has approved for CBD, there's a couple now, I believe, but the first one was a CBD drug, a CBD-based drug that was for children having epilepsy, who had epilepsy or some other seizure disorder. And the benefit was it reduced the swelling in your blood vessels and in your brain. So they had less and less seizures. And, I don't know all the science behind that, but it is documented and proven that it does reduce inflammation. And when you reduce inflammation in your body, you reduce disease.
Absolutely.
Question. Mm-hmm. Where do you, because all of this is really in the very, very beginning stages, really. You researched for 2 years, but, up until not too long ago, this was just, the wilderness. Literally the Humboldt wilderness. Yeah. Where do you see all this going, say, like in 5, 7, 10 years? You're in business. You're mm-hmm. not looking at just today, you're looking at down the line. What do you see for this industry movement thing?
And a follow-up to that question would be, is Big Pharma trying to jump in the way of this right now? Are they trying to squash it?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they
they are a big beast.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm gonna stay away from the politics of all of that, because it's it's a dirty world out there, the politics side of it. But many companies, including Philip Morris, have invested in the CBD industry. The other thing that is changing since, we've been in business now 2 years. So let's say it's 4 years total I've been working on this. And during that time, now we have Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart, who has a CBD products, and Oprah promotes a CBD products. It is everywhere. Something is going to happen in the market at some point where it's going to flood. At some point, it'll be so flooded, and it'll be flooded with not good products.
Right.
And the outcome of that is likely that then there's going to be an underground of good CBD products, because essentially, companies like mine that hand make the batches still, it's a big pot on a flame that's stirred. It's like
and Snoop Dogg is not doing the stirring.
Snoop Dogg is not doing that. Yeah. So at some point there will be a change in the market, and what I see is that it'll come back to, just like any other industry, it'll come back to the smaller businesses. Now, one of the things that's different about us is that our purpose isn't just selling CBD, which we love selling CBD. We love it when people take it. We love seeing people who are like, I played the best golf game of my life, or I ran a marathon for the first time, or, my diabetes is gone, or, oh my God, this one woman had psoriasis head to toe and has had it her whole life. And our hemp salve that we have is amazing for curing the rash that you get with psoriasis, and you get the flaky white, looks like a scab, right?
Yeah.
And the hemp salve you cover with it, it protects your skin. The scabs reduce. You just end up with these light red marks. And she says it saved her life because she was getting more and more depressed. So I got off topic. I just get so excited about
But,
the
but
people
that's
that we serve.
okay. That's okay, Rose, because I want to interject something there.
Mhm.
When folks are depressed, then that is not the time to make big decisions in your life. But when you're doing something, when you're using something that lifts you out of that depression, whether it's external or internal, whatever it is, then everything else, everything else healthy is going to flow.
Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense that the curing or the whatever it was that happened with the psoriasis helped lift her out of her depression.
Yeah. Well,
Now
that's
she can make other decisions in life.
exactly, and that's really our purpose, is to be the source for alternative sources of healing, to be your source of natural remedies. And we partner with chiropractors and acupuncturists, and really elevate. CBD works best when you do it in conjunction with exercise, healthy produce, being outside, being able to learn how to communicate. One of the women that I've been working with recently, she's perimenopausal. I think I'm saying that right. But those hormones, when you're in that stage of your life, it wreaks havoc on you.
And your husband.
And your husband. And for the most part, nobody knows. They're like, what's wrong with me? I don't understand. What's wrong with me? And it's not you. It's your hormones. It's chemicals,
Right.
And CBD can be a great stabilizer in times like that. So that there's not so many peaks and valleys in regards to your hormones, because a lot of times people are, they're worried. They think there's something wrong with them, like they're a bad person, or they did something wrong, or they're really sick, when really it's logistics. You're eating bad produce, your hormones aren't balanced, you need a chiropractor, you don't have good blood flow. Like, there's a logistical reason you're feeling like this. There's nothing wrong with you. So our main focus really is on people having alternative sources of healthcare, because if your body works, everything else works better. Everything else works better.
And we had mentioned before, but what's the best way of getting a hold of you and all of your offerings and all the knowledge that you have? How do people get a hold of you?
Well, our website is yournaturalhealthcare.com. And, our office number, we have an office number. You can call me directly. It's probably me who will answer the phone. And that's all, that's on the website. So yournaturalhealthcare.com. You can order the products directly from the website. We ship anywhere in the United States. I have this amazing shipping department who is a 14-year-old man. As he tells me, I am a man. So the 14-year-old man will ship your product.
And good for him too. Stand your ground early.
Yeah, it's very inspiring. So we ship anywhere in the United States. And also, one of our purposes, we're going to start posting more of our interviews with chiropractors and acupuncturists on the website, so people can see. But under the tab articles on our website, we have a ton of blogs. So we have the best of your natural healthcare is our most recent one. We have a secret tease because we're releasing 3 products, which, by the way, we are running a competition. If anyone has ideas for product names, we're going to have 3 products that are the 3 most important areas in life, which are sleep, sex, and sports. Sleep, sex, sports. So we're releasing a lube, which is amazing. Talk about health and the benefits.
Sleep come third after those 2.
Sex, sports, and sleep. There we go. The sports recovery product is amazing. It's a really easy on lotion that's you like the nano products, Dan. This is nano and full size CBD. There's both, and it has the heating and the cooling in it. So It really packs a punch in terms of recovery time and just endurance, increased endurance. And then the sleep serum is amazing. And we have a little bit of CBDN. which is a whole nother cannabinoid that we're not going to talk about on this time. And with a little bit of melatonin and some other secret herbs to have you have a really great night's sleep. So all of that information, including, let's see, 5 ways to ignite your creativity, happiness right now, the ultimate family giving guide. So we have a ton of information on our website that's designed to support people in living a healthy life.
Wow.
Good deal.
That's fantastic.
I've gotten an education.
I'm so glad.
Yes, and maybe if you rub some of that CBD onto your lips and your tongue, or that spray one, you'll be able to say edumacation with a little more pronunciation. Yes.
Yeah. I thought, you know where I thought you were going with that, Dan? I thought you were going to say if you could spray it on top of your dome, you'd grow hair.
From one melon head to another,
I
don't miss my hair one bit.
Neither do I. Not at all. No way.
Fantastic. Wow, Rose, this has been fantastic. We really appreciate you educating us on the CBD and educating everyone out there. YourNaturalHealthCare.com, folks. Check it out, because there's a lot out there and you want the real deal. And take it from someone who owned a market and made sure that every product in my market was the real deal. I was very, very picky about that, and I still am today. I want the real thing. And there's a song by, who sang that? I want the real thing. Old country artist. Well, anyway.
Wait, wasn't that a Coke commercial?
There's ain't nothing but the real thing, baby. But then there's another one called I Want the Real Thing. But anyway, that has nothing to do. Well,
and I think we have several coupons too that are available on the website too. Dan, don't we have a special one for you?
Oh, well, yes, we do have a special one at YourNaturalHealthCare.com. I think you can get $20 off your first order if you just use the code DD20 bucks. DD 20 bucks.
You're giving away the store.
Well, that's a good chunk of savings right there. 20 bucks. Think about it. DD 20 bucks, folks. And then there's another one, DD20, and that gives you 20% off your entire order. So, hey, man, YourNaturalHealthCare.com, CBD, the real deal. Rose Chastain. But speaking of beauty products, Rose, you look very, very lovely today, I have to say.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
You look there's a glow about you that I haven't seen before, a real glow. So it's wonderful. You look great.
Thanks.
Maybe she's eating better too. You never know.
Exactly. Eating vegetables and taking CBD.
That's a way to go.
Oh, and drinking water. Don't forget about that one.
Oh, that's right. Gotta have the water. Yes. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We're happy that you joined us. Next week we have Angela Avalos Lopez or maybe I said that wrong, right? Is it Angela Lopez Avalos? And
we'll
Keith Wilson from Cecilia Packing. They bring you those great heirloom oranges, and we will have them on next week. So keep tuning into the Produce Pair. Until next week, I'm Dan the Produce Man, reminding you that it's always best when you get it real and you get it fresh.
And I'm Guido the Gardener, and I'll tell you what my Nonna Bessie always told me. Manja.
All right. Cool.
Rose, I tell you, I have said that 5,000 times, and 5,000 times Dan has laughed. He chuckled every single time. I say,
there's just something about it, I don't know. It's just
I love it.
But that's what she used to say, old Italian. Ma calfio.
Right, and I can see that. I can see the old Italian lady telling me to eat.
Manja.
Yeah, I got that a lot.
Well, cool, Rose. Thanks.
You're welcome.
It was fascinating. It really was, because I knew little bits and pieces. What I knew before was I didn't want to mess with any of it because Gwen, actually, my wife, this was a couple of years ago or a year, something ago, and she took it for something.
Yeah.
And she didn't even tell me, because I'm the anti-dope guy and,
Yeah.
potheads and but I didn't know, I didn't know. So little by little, I've learned a few things, but this was fascinating. I appreciate it.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Rose. Well,
Okay.
please say hello to William.
I will. And Guido, if you want, have Dan text me your address. I'll send you some product you guys get to try.
That'd be swell.
Yeah.
That'd be swell.
Very
Sure.
good. Okay.
Yeah. And again, like the hair growing product, that might help.
No, if William could find that, he would definitely use it.
No, that's great. I'll do that. That'd be great. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
It was fun. Thanks for very entertaining. And Dan, please do send me the recording because we're going to use it for all sorts of things.